What if I told you that some of the most creative people in the world can't actually picture anything in their head? Seriously. Today we're going to dive into the logic of a blind mind's eye. We'll explore how it's totally possible to build entire worlds without ever seeing them. But first, let's try a quick experiment. Right now, wherever you are, just close your eyes for a second. Go on. Now, I want you to picture a sunset over the ocean. Really try to see it. What's there in your mind's eye? Can you see the brilliant colors, the oranges, the pinks, the purples? What about the clouds? Are they fluffy or are they long and thin? And the light, can you see it glinting on the water? Okay, hold that image in your head. All right, you can open your eyes. Now, what if when you did that, you saw nothing, just blackness? For about 4% of us, that's reality. No colors, no light, no picture at all. Yeah, this has a name. It's called aphantasia. And it's really important to know this isn't a disorder or some kind of defect. It's just a different way of experiencing the world. It's the inability to voluntarily create those mental images. It's what it's like to have a blind mind's eye. So what's the difference really? It kind of breaks down like this. A visualizing mind sees the sunset. It's like a little movie projector in your head, recalling all those sensory details. But the aphantastic mind, it knows the sunset. It doesn't need a picture because it understands the concepts, the facts, the relationships, the idea of a sunset. It's the difference between seeing a photo of a car engine and reading the blueprint. And this conceptual way of thinking, well, it has a pretty big impact on what people do for a living. You can see here that a huge chunk, 75%, of people with aphantasia end up in STEM fields. You know, science, tech, math. It makes sense, right? It's all about logic and systems. But look at that other 25%. The arts. Now that is where things get really, really interesting. Because this brings us to a real puzzle. I mean, think about how we assume a writer works. We just kind of take for granted that they're visualizing their characters, imagining these super detailed scenes, basically watching the whole story play out like a movie in their head, right? So, you see the paradox here. How on earth can you paint a picture with words if you can't even form a mental picture to begin with? An author with aphantasia feels like a rare bird for sure. So how do they do it? How is it possible for them to write a story that feels totally immersive and compelling? Well, here's the secret. It's this beautiful insight right here. They aren't trying to translate an image from their brain onto the page. Instead, they rely on the logic of language. Their creativity isn't visual. It's built on structure, on concepts, and on the relationships between ideas. Let's break down what that actually means. The process looks something like this. First, they start with a concept, a totally abstract idea, like betrayal. Then, they use logic to build the scene. They ask questions. For betrayal to happen, what must be true? Who are the players? What are the logical consequences? And finally, they use language to describe how all these pieces relate to each other, not just what they look like. This is the perfect example to wrap your head around it. A writer with a mind's eye might describe the dappled sunlight and the emerald green leaves, but a writer with aphantasia, they might describe the forest by explaining its ecosystem, how the tall trees create a canopy that starves the plants below of light, which in turn creates a damp, mossy floor, which just so happens to be perfect for a specific type of mushroom that a character needs to find. They give you the blueprint, and your own mind builds the scene. It's brilliant. And all of this leaves us with one last big question. What is imagination? Is it just seeing pictures in your head? Or is it something bigger, something deeper? Maybe it's the power to construct entire worlds from pure logic and ideas. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe there's more than one way for the human mind to be creative.